Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and I was always told how to voice the radio. So today, we need to look at a new item card, which is absolutely huge, and is absolutely going to shake things up in a fantastic, albeit slightly confusing way. Now, it's probably going to be called Metal Patch, but over on the Japanese website it has been translated as Metal Saucer. Either way, it's pretty gosh darned awesome. And it's going to sound very familiar. Attach one metal energy from your discard pile to one of your benched metal Pokemon. Well, hang on a second. That sounds exactly like a metal version of Aqua Patch. And it should, because it is. Well, hang on a second. Going a little bit further back, that sounds exactly like a metal version of Dark Patch. And yes, it is. You see, for some reason, and this is a confusing bit to me, which I don't fully understand, these come out with giant gaps between them. Like, gigantic gaps between them. So Dark Explorers bought us the first one. That was Dark Patch, and that was released in May 2012. 7 years ago. And then we had nothing for any other typing until 5 years later, in May 2017, where we got, so 5 years later, where we got Aqua Patch. Now this set's coming out in February 2020 for us, which is near as darn it a 3-year gap. And now that Aqua Patch has gone and rotated, we're getting Metal Patch. I don't understand why we need to have years and wait for one rotating before we get another one. I would genuinely like to see what the format is like if every typing in the Pokemon trading card game had their own one of these cards. But the good news is we saw what happened with Dark Patch. It was amazing. And we saw what happened with Aqua Patch. It was amazing. So I don't think there's any real question here of, oh, I wonder if this is going to be any good. I think it's pretty... well, it's pretty guaranteed at this stage that this is going to be a phenomenal card that's going to see an awful lot of play. Back when Dark Patch came out, it just allowed Darkrai to rule the format. Now, we never saw what Darkrai was like without Dark Patch because they were both in Dark Explorers, so essentially Darkrai came out with Dark Patch already with it, and when one rotated out, so did the other. But Darkrai with Dark Patch, and we actually had Junk Arm at the time, which allowed us to accelerate, well, even better, because Junk Arm could be used to reuse it. But essentially, we just had speed coming out of the wazoo, and these Darkrai decks could just have extra energy. So even though it was a free energy attack, 90 to the active, 30 to the bench, it was great at the time, it wasn't really a free energy attack because Dark Patch just, well, it's made things too easy. And then when Aqua Patch came out, now it didn't have quite the same impact on the format, but we saw like Lapras decks, for instance, just going absolutely nuts with it, and essentially every water deck became significantly better because of it. And that's basically the crux of Metal Patch here. I'm calling it Metal Patch. Every single metal deck, from here until it rotates out, has instantly become better. Just flat out, no question, no argument, it is way better now than it was before. Simple as that. I mean, one of the obvious ones is the one that's already seeing the most play in terms of metal decks, and that's Lucario and Melmetal. And make no mistake about it, Lucario and Melmetal just got a rather redonkulous boost. You see, Lucario and Melmetal for 4 energy does 150 damage. It's quite expensive, we have to kind of work our way up to it. But for 2 colourless energy, it does 50 damage, then you search your deck for a metal energy, attach it to this Pokemon and shuffle your deck. So when we've got 2 energy on there, it's easy, right? You put 2 energy on, use Steel Fist, that gets you energy number 3, and then next turn you get energy number 4 and you're off. With double colourless energy, brilliant. You attach double colourless energy and use Steel Fist, get energy 3, next turn you get energy 4, attack, you're golden. Problem is we don't have double colourless energy right now, so Lucario and Melmetal become significantly worse. Okay, But now we got Metal Patch. So now Metal Patch can go on and you're golden. The other thing is that we've got Full Metal Wool GX, 1 colourless energy. For the rest of the game, all your metal Pokemon take 30 less from attacks. But if you add a second energy on there, you also get to discard all the energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. Now, the thing is, early on, you want to use a GX attack. This is an early game GX attack. But then your opponent might not have that much energy. You might not need your second energy to get rid of all of theirs. But you might. Imagine this. You're going second. Your opponent goes first. They're playing a Welder deck. Welder decks are everywhere. They attach an energy. They welder to attach 2 more energy. Oh, look. Now you've got free energy on. This is when Full Metal Wool becomes significantly better to stop your opponent in their tracks. Bearing in mind, next turn, they could attach an energy and then welder a second time, and all of a sudden that Reshiram and Charizard's got 6 energy on and they're doing 300 damage. It's a pretty big deal. It's a huge deal. And you can stop them in their tracks. That's why this makes a difference. Make no mistake about it. Lucario and Melmetal becomes an infinitely better Pokemon when you can attach 2 energy in a turn rather than 1. Now, of course, the other thing it allows you to do, and this is a little bit less realistic but possible, Gardevoir and Sylveon has 260 HP and a weakness to metal. So it is absolutely possible that you can just go energy, Metal Patch, Metal Patch, Metal Patch. Oh, look, I got 4 energy on. I've gone second and now I get a 1-hit KO on you. As a side note, do please remember at this stage that we do have the Shuckle that came around in Lost Thunder, and the Shuckle that came around in Lost Thunder lets you search your deck for free basic energy cards and discard them. Oh, yeah, that's actually really good. Like, really good, because now you can get free energy in your discard right away, so the first free metal patch that you draw into, you can immediately just use. One Pokemon I've been a fairly big fan of, but I've never gotten able to use, has been Steelix. The one that came around in Lost Thunder. The Steelix from Lost Thunder has a very nice attack for 4 energy that does 170 damage. Really good if you're hitting for weakness or you're against non-GXs. Problem is, it's a metal and free colourless. And you can pay the free colourless with triple acceleration energy, but you still need the metal. It's not a 1-turn attack, except with a metal patch and a triple acceleration energy, it now is a single turn attack. You can go from 0 energy to 170 damage right away. Or how about the new Steelix that came out in Cosmic Eclipse? 50 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of exactly 4 that you discard from your hand. Oh, yeah, that's pretty gosh darn nice. Here's the thing. It's for 2 colourless energy. Once again, with double colourless energy, we'd be loving it, but we don't have double colourless energy, so we're not loving it so much. Now we've got triple acceleration energy, but you can only play 4 of them in your deck, and it falls off at the end of your turn, so you've got to have it every turn. It gets annoying. Here, Metal Patch. Attachment for turn. Not only do you now have the 2 energy on there super easily, but it doesn't fall off. So even though you can only play 4 Metal Patch in the same way you can only play 4 triple acceleration energy, you can keep the energy on when you play Metal Patch, which is not the case with triple acceleration energy. We've seen a little bit of love for Lucario GX. Just on his own, no Melmetal, just, Melmetal GX, just on his own, no Lucario. And again, it's a very expensive attack. 4 colourless energy, 110 plus 20 more for each metal energy attached to this Pokemon. Well, now all of a sudden, again, you've still got triple acceleration energy, but you've also got Metal Patch here. Now, this is extremely good because this is a 2-prize Pokemon that can 1-hit KO Gardevoir and Sylveon without getting KO'd back. The problem with a Steelix from Lost Thunder is that although you get a 1-hit KO, they can then KO you straight back because you take 50 damage when you do the attack. Or, to put it another way like I did at the beginning of the video, literally every single metal Pokemon in the format at the moment, and that gets revealed and released from here on out, until this rotates, just got so much better. It is an absolute scorcher of a card, which is going to make a gigantic difference to the format. It's going to make Pokemon that weren't viable. It's going to mean that playing fairy decks is significantly more terrifying because metal decks are going to become so much better. It is almost impossible to overstate how good this card is if you want to play metal decks. We've been able to accelerate metal energy with Magnezone for ages. Nobody wants Magnezone. And that's sad. I'm a big fan of Magnezone as a Pokemon, but the reality here is that Magnezone is a Stage 2, and Stage 2 energy acceleration just hasn't been viable. We want it to be viable, it's not been viable. It's sad, we can cry about it, or now we can fix it. Maybe we've even, and this might be going slightly off the rails a little bit, but maybe even Dialga GX could be viable now. Dialga GX, right, huge amount of fun, 5 energy, 150 damage, and you take another turn. Maybe we can use that. Or maybe we just use something like Sizzle, because Sizzle's kind of fun nowadays, especially with Island Challenge Amulet. And now with Metal Patch, it is essentially a single energy attachment. The rule with Metal Patch is extremely simple. Every single metal Pokemon becomes infinitely better, and playing Fairy becomes a little bit more terrifying. It is a great card, and it is a hands down, flat out, no question 5 Wossie card. Dark Patch was great, Aqua Patch was great, Metal Patch is inarguably great. The only thing that will ever stop this card being good is if we just don't have the right partners for it, but that's kind of on the Pokemon, not on the card. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very nice card indeed, one we should all be very happy about, and I'd like to know exactly how happy you are about this and what you think about it. So, let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.